5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Jazz hands. Hi, this is Lori.
This is Peter.
And we are back with part 2 of our So Bad It's Good movie weekend that we had a few weeks ago. Movie weekend from 1980 with
Xanadu.
Xanadu, starring Olivia Newton-John, Michael Beck, and Gene Kelly in his final role. His final musical role was Xanadu.
Why this would be his final musical role? It should have been like North by Northwest or something.
Well, that's not a musical. It should have been like an American in Paris or something. Anyway, but Xanadu came out in 1980. I remember wanting to see this movie.
Isn't that a World War II movie?
No.
Well, I thought that was the only time Americans were in Paris.
Yeah. Oh, God. You're talking... Anyway, so... just throw me off. You know, I'm going down the track. Just sidetrack, like whatever. Anyway, Xanadu came out in 1980. Again, I was 12. I wanted to see this because I was a fan of Olivia Newton-John, particularly her music. Mm-hmm. I mentioned this before when she passed away a few weeks ago. We did a little mention video of her. Like, as a musician, that was some of the first music that I studied structurally. Mm-hmm. Was her songs, and her producer is one of my favorite producers still. And anyway, so of course I wanted to see this. She was coming off of Grease and stuff. So again, it was one of those movies when it came out, bombed. Reviews were terrible, and so I didn't get to see it. Of course.
So I'm just imagining Olivia Newton-John on Grease.
I don't even want to. I'm not even going to follow that one up. But anyway, so I did get to see this as a kid because it came on cable, and I loved it. It's what 12-year-old girls and young gay men's dreams are made of. Everything their dreams are made of is in this movie. And
you know what? I had heard about this movie. And the main thing I heard about this movie is stay away from this movie.
Yes.
It's terrible. Mm-hmm. I didn't know Gene Kelly was in it.
Wow, yeah.
But in fact, it was so bad they didn't even talk about anybody in it. They just said,
yeah, don't go see this one.
And you suggested it. Mm-hmm. But you did say you did enjoy it, but it is
bad, but I love it.
It's good, yeah.
And one of the things is, getting back to the music, this movie was bad, but the soundtrack for it was great. It had music going for it, a lot like Purple Rain. There's Purple Rain. It's basically a bad movie, but the music is so great. And
Purple Rain and Prince are the #1 actors in the #1 movie ever.
Oh my gosh. Well, yeah, and like Timothy Dalton is bad. Purple Rain is great. I love Purple Rain, but it has its issues too. But it's just something. The music, well, and at least in the music scenes are so great too. It carries the movie a lot farther than it probably wouldn't have gotten. This movie, it's just the music. The music scenes. They're a mixed bag in a way, and we'll get into why that is. But I love this movie. It's silly. It's a fantasy. It's not something you take seriously.
I think the movie was trying to be what's his name? The little short white guy that was in movies in the 50s. And then he was in there with...
Mickey Rooney or something?
Mickey Rooney.
Okay.
You know...
Kind of like, let's put on a show.
Let's do a show.
We got a barn. Let's pick it up. Let's do a show. Okay.
Well, they were trying to be the 1980s version of that.
Yeah.
And they missed.
They did miss pretty widely. Yeah, they were trying to let's recreate the musicals of the bygone era, and let's get Gene Kelly. And actually, the history of this, kind of the interesting thing, This movie was never meant to be a big movie. It was supposed to be a very small movie about a roller disco starring nobodies, made cheaply, but somehow they got Olivia Newton-John on board and they convinced Gene Kelly to be part of it. And then the budget blew up, and because she's coming off Grease, so she's like red hot. And you know, you get Gene Kelly who hadn't. You get Gene Kelly, who hadn't been in a musical for maybe a decade or two, and they convinced him to do this. So, you know, they start throwing money at it, but no matter how much money they threw at it, they could not fix this kind of train wreck.
Yeah, they should have licked the money first to make it stick. But it didn't. It
didn't. But anyway, so what did you think of Xanadu?
Well, the writing is terrible.
Indeed.
The acting, well, they can only act out what was written, and their talents overran the wording that the scripts that they were given.
The acting is. The only one who wasn't a bad actor in this is Gene Kelly.
Yeah, Gene Kelly was fantastic.
Olivia Newton-John acting is not her strength. She can do okay, but if you give her bad material, is bad. Unfortunately, sadly, Michael Beck, who plays the lead male love interest, is horrible in this. And he was coming off Warriors. Talk about a bunch of people coming off like hot movies. And they chose to do
Warriors!
This. Come out to play, yay! And he's like terribly miscast in this. He just doesn't work. And just a lot of stuff comes across as stilted and it just...
Yeah, but you know what? I love the big musical at the end.
Oh, yeah.
When they were all dancing and everything,
and tightrope walking and juggling and roller skating and the lady who was spinning on the they do and the end is just
whoever was the choreographer on this.
Oh my
God!
They
were like, oh my, look at, and then we're gonna do this and throw that in. It didn't work.
Co-choreographed by Kenny Ortega, who has gone on to do many, many, many things. He's gone on to have a fantastic career.
Oh yeah, you do something bad.
This was his first thing.
There's nowhere but up.
Actually, Gene Kelly took him under his wing. Actually, so he got out of this bad movie. He got to be apprentice kind of from Gene Kelly, which is probably why he went on to do a lot of really successful things. But anyway, so Xanadu, it's a fantasy movie. It's about a lot of the criticism is like, oh, the story doesn't make any sense.
I've never had any real problem movie. It was a fantasy.
It's total fantasy. You know, and Olivia Newton-John plays a muse who comes down, kissed by a muse. She comes down to Earth to inspire this guy to open a roller disco because that's what the kids were doing back then. Roller discos were big. Yes. and I
love that she was a muse.
She was a muse, yes. And so that's the magical element, but she falls in love with this guy for some reason because, I don't know, he's kind of a jerk anyway. I don't get it. She should have fell in love with Gene Kelly.
Yeah, but he was a warrior.
Maybe that was it. Bad boy. She's into the bad boy thing. But anyway, so the plot, it's silly, but it does make sense. A lot of people say it doesn't. I beg to differ. There's great music. The dance numbers are okay. They're kind of the biggest problem with this, and I've heard this on other reviews, and I totally agree with them. And it's just the way everything's staged and filmed is not done very well.
No. Well, I know it wasn't done in the way you would like to do it now.
I don't
because
think everything they should have done it then.
Just flowed into things. Just happened to be.
Yeah. Well,
theirs was very much, okay, let's do this. Now let's do this. So, I mean, even some of the things that was actually supposed to be the same scene, the choreographer did this, and then this team does this, and then this team does that, and it was terrible.
Well, yeah, it's just where the camera is placed. The decisions in this is really, oh, it could have been so much better. Because there's a lot of talented people in this movie.
There's
a lot of talented dancers, jugglers, tightrope walkers, roller skaters, all those things, mimes, and musicians doing the music. But it's just, yeah. And that's where, and it's a silly story. You have an animated, I forgot, we had an animated feature like smack dab in the middle of there for no reason.
Yeah, well, I think it's Disney-like.
Well, right, it's Don Bluth, who used to be with Disney, and he had a falling out. I'm sure you can relate to that. He had and so he went off and formed his own studio, his own animation studio, and he was like Disney's competition for a little while. He did a couple movies like Thumbling. He had a couple successes, Secret of Nim. He had quite a few successful movies at the time, kind of challenging Disney. But you can see why that style. It is his style, but you can see how it kind of grew out of the Disney style. But it's a fun sequence. And I love that this movie just has all this ridiculous fantasy stuff that pops up right in the middle of it.
That guy doesn't happen to be still alive, is he?
Don Bluth? I don't know. Yeah, I think he is.
Is he?
Yeah.
Could he draw me with more hair?
I'm sure he could. Don Bluth, call Peter. He needs some more hair.
Yeah, I need more hair.
Anyway, any other thoughts? Let's, like I said, this was supposed to be a small movie. It got blown out of proportion. The script was only like 40 pages when they started, which you could tell.
Yeah.
They tried to they were still writing it as they went along. And then let's do this. The reason why there's an animated sequence is because they had a great song and they didn't have anywhere to put it. So they said, hey, can you do an animated sequence to this song?
I know they had a lot of stars, but they needed Mickey Rooney in this.
They had Gene Kelly. That was no. You don't like Gene Kelly, though.
No. I think Gene Kelly's pretty good.
Actually, Gene Kelly is the best thing about this movie.
Yeah.
He brings in that charisma, the charm, that old school Hollywood musical, what we're trying to reach for.
If they could take Singing in the Rain and make the rain purple and then have him and Prince while Gene is dancing and Prince is singing, they meet in the water in the street and start doing splits.
Why are they both dead? Oh. This is genius.
That's very inspiring.
Singing in the purple rain, man.
Singing in the purple rain. Oh wait, no, they did that at the Super Bowl.
Oh, they did. Okay, we got it covered. Anyway, so Gene Kelly is the best thing about this movie. He wasn't supposed to do any dancing, but somehow he got talked into it. He choreographed the scene behind us, and it's just he's having a good time. He is. It's classic Gene Kelly. He's just bringing it. He's just effortless, and he's a joy to watch in this.
Yeah,
and this movie
really
is very much a cross section of the 70s switching into the 80s in terms of the style and look of things. To me, it's a time capsule of Los Angeles because they film in like Venice and Santa Monica back in that era, and I remember how it was like that at the time. And the
Pan Pacific Theater.
The Pan Pacific Auditorium.
Yes. Which
does not exist. It burned down. It was already closed when this was filmed.
Right.
It had been closed for years, and then it burned down like a few years later. The special arches that you see in it there's only like one or two. I think there's one left at the actual location.
I thought
now
they had two or three,
center.
But whatever.
No, those are at Disneyland in California.
Oh,
they recreated them there at the California Adventure. So, but anyway, and I used to go to that park all the time trying to figure out where. I'm glad because you went to it when that building was still around. I never got to see it.
Played football, even though most of the grass there was a bowl.
Yeah, that park is still a bowl. But I was like, oh man, as much as I loved this movie and stuff, it's like, that's where the location was.
Yeah, but just to let you guys know, no matter how much I talk bad about this movie or anything else, you really got to see it. It's a really.
You know what?
good bad movie.
It is so bad it's good. It's still fun. There's Olivia Newton-John was charming. She just had, even her acting wasn't always great, but she just comes across as, and there's great dancing in it. Yeah, there's some great choreography. There's some fun visual elements. It's not filmed very well, sadly. I was thinking, if they got a really good film crew and redid this.
Yeah, but one thing I'd like them to do.
What?
One thing. They have to spell Xanadu correctly.
That is how Xanadu is spelled.
Well, spelled with a Z, right?
No. You know this is based on a poem there. Actually, it's based on a location, a fictional, I think it's a mythological location. It's a poem by Samuel Taylor Coleridge. In fact, they quote recite the first couple lines in this. It was referenced in the movie Citizen Kane. This poem was, in fact, I think his house was called Kuba. Was it Kuba Khan? I mean, it's Xanadu.
But it's Xanadu. That's with a Z. Zebra. That's with a Z.
What is it supposed to be? Xanadu?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
It's like Xavier.
No, see, I know a French dude. His name is it's not Xavier. It's Xavier, and actually how he pronounces it is Xavier.
Yeah.
It's like a Z. Anyway, let's move on. So Xanadu I love this movie. It's a lot of fun. It's bad. But there's great music. There's a lot of fun elements to it. And actually, one of the things we talked about, it's corny, that go after your dreams no matter what. Don't give up on them. Message that still really hits for me.
Yes.
It's like in a very positive way and encouraging way that I enjoy. Like we watched this, yeah, I shouldn't have given that up.
Yes.
I shouldn't have given up that 8-track analog Akai 1212 multi-track desk that I had because it was Olivia Newton-John's. Damn it! I had her anyway. I shouldn't have given that up, as well as producing the music, which I think I'm going to get it back into soon. But anyway, so any other thoughts on Xanadu?
There was one thing that they could have done. What? One thing that would have actually given the movie a couple notches up. If they would have had a car show scene
with a Mustang.
With all Mustangs.
With all Mustangs. This would have. It may not have been so bad it's good anymore. It would have been so good it's good.
That's true. Okay, no Mustangs.
No Mustangs, leave them out. Anyway, Xanadu, it's a fun watch. It's ridiculous. It makes no sense.
See, they should have did that with a Z.
Oh God, I didn't even bring up the final. That final musical number that lasts 8 to 10 minutes, and it has.
And look, Gene Kelly's clapping.
Like I said, I've already mentioned the jugglers and the mimes and the roller skaters and the dancers and the tightrope walkers, and then there's the different styles of music they do at the end. They just throw in the kitchen sink before they go into Xanadu,
and the grease that they pour on Olivia Newton-John.
Oh my God! I still love this movie. I might watch it after this. I don't know. It's just a good-natured, silly, fun watch, and don't take it seriously. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. Very little sense, but it's what little 12. Like I said, it's what little 12-year-old girls and young gay boys' dreams are made of. And we've known this for decades now.
And the thing is...
And have bonded over it.
I actually like it.
Yeah.
I'm very heterosexual.
Yeah. I'm glad. I appreciate that. Yeah. I mean, for a long time, it was only appreciated by a certain site. But I think people are coming around.
Yeah.
I think people are coming out. Coming out with their Xanadu love. So anyway, that's Xanadu. It's available on, you can rent it, buy it, adore it, love it as much as I do.
Yes.
For its terribleness. And we out.
We are out.
We out like Kubla Khan, stately pleasure dome decree. That's the spoil.
All right, see you later, Kuba June, what's his name?
Kubla Khan. Xanadu. Bye, y'all. We out.